no reading, no writing, definitely no arithmetic. I mean, and you got to deal with other people grinding somebody that, you know, done something that ain't nobody proud of, and you just gotta. We had one girl moaning, and I'm getting to the point here. There was one girl there, she was moaning, and I'm thinking, like, the instructions are to be silent and just chill with your experience. Why on earth would anybody be moaning? I mean, what are you experiencing that you have to vocal? We're supposed to be silent, noble silence. So, in the span of 30 seconds, I found myself experiencing, so we're supposed to be paying attention to our sensations, being mindful. I found myself experiencing this intense anger towards her. I was like, I wish she would shut up. I want to take my pillow and just straight Brett Favre, just right there to the head. But then I realized, like, man, I'm starting to ache more. I'm getting hot. My blood pressure is, and I'm sensing this in myself. First I was cool. And then she was like, oh. I was like, she did it again. Oh. I'm like trying to adjust because I'm getting uncomfortable. I'm like, and then I realized that I was suffering. And the reason why I was suffering was because I was so angry with what I was experiencing from someone else. Because I thought that that was something that shouldn't be done. You shouldn't do that. It's bothering me. It's probably bothering everybody else. You're not following the rules. I want to meditate. So shut up. But then I realized that, man, because I felt that way about that, now I'm learning that I don't have to be suffering like that. And then I started to appreciate her. Because without that, I wouldn't have had that lesson. And because of that, oh man, let's focus on that. That was a really long story, but that's what it does. In some areas, it allows you to realize the connection between the things that you're feeling and your mind. And a lot of times, most of what we're experiencing is interpreted by some chatterboxes in the background, just going off of what they've seen, what they've heard, what they've experienced. It's just like a camera that automatically plays back, and it's just on autopilot, fast and rewind, like channel flipping through a whole bunch of pre-recorded scenes. We're just, most people, I do it myself still, are just responding out of that. When we find something that's discomforting, we react in a way that we normally would have. We want to back away from it or come back to it. Mindfulness teaches us to realize that and I'm really going off on a tangent. I'm not a tangent, but I'm really getting far ahead of myself. But it causes us to realize that even though we're in this body, and eventually you'll experience this yourself if you haven't already, but you're connected to this body, and you're connected to your brain, to your mind. Your mind isn't really who you are. A good example, if everyone will close your eyes for a second. And I want you to think of a cat. Think of a cat. Now you can see it. Okay, now open your eyes. Are you still thinking of the cat? Think of the cat still. You can see it, right? There are two things to this. First off, you're seeing a cat. You're experiencing it somewhere. Okay? Most people say, it's in my mind. All right, so I'm experiencing it. I'm imagining it. But who is looking at the cat? Who is in your mind saying, right now, I'm thinking of a cat? Those are two sides. And the reflection is what you interpret as your experience. I've been meditating, I don't know, for just since I was 8. And type of meditation we're going to do here is we're going to use the mind as a tool, just like you use your hand, just like you use your lungs. And we're going to exercise our connection to the fundamental building block of all of this hard matter that you see, which is energy. And now this isn't some hocus pocus type stuff where I'm like, energy, just feel the energy. What I'm talking about are the basic building blocks of your cells that are substances. You break those down, you have molecules. You break those down, there are electrons, there's protons, there's neutrons in the nucleus. And for the longest time, we thought that, okay, we got this nucleus and then there are electrons, and that's the solid stuff of matter. That's why I can go like this. You know? But then they took a closer look and they realized, wait a minute, that kind of looks like another atom. And it has a nucleus too. Okay, so that's the hard stuff, those together. And they did that over and over again until they realized that there is really mostly energy here. And then they started doing experiments with the smallest particle that they could find. They called, you know, this is energy, but it's also this hard stuff. And they started firing it at this wall that had 2 slits in it. And what they found, well, what most people would find is that you think it's like a paintball gun, and you're firing at 2 open doors, and there's a wall behind that door. And you think there'd be 2 lines there of whatever the paint color was. But what they found was that there were like 12, 13, 20 lines. And the reason why was because the particle also existed as a web. So they were like, what's going on here? What's going on? And what was happening is, the paintball was going towards the middle, splitting into 2, and coming back and interfering with itself in every possible location. So they really wanted to measure this, and they said, okay, well, let's look at it. Let's put somebody's eyes on it. So now they started watching it real hard. And it was like, okay, if this fires and we know where it goes, we'll be able to see. If we're looking, we'll be able to know where it goes. And they found 2 lines this time. And the conclusion was that the experience happened up here. The reality was up here. The meditation that we're going to do now is going to use our mind as that tool to connect to that and experience gratitude. And focus and see the gratitude and let that gratitude be our reality. Gratitude for, and I'll let you talk about.
Gratitude for things from the past, gratitude for things that are currently going on now, or just things that you anticipate and you're really looking forward to, just really getting into that feeling. And what this is all about, we're giving you this, and kind of have this intellectual understanding now. We're trying to help you where you're able to now take this information, have your own experiential understanding, rather than just, okay, this is what they said, that sounds cool, but like I really don't get it. We're going to give you tools so you can kind of go in, play with them, and then have your own experiences. So there's nothing that's right or wrong. Your mind might wander. Monkey minds tend to do that. And it really helped me when I started to understand kind of how the mind works, where it's like, you know, it's with me all the time. I should understand it, right? No. Because if I give you like 10 compliments, you know, it's like, you had a great smile, you were getting it in there, you were having a great time, but I don't like your little toe. What are you going to remember? You know, so that's just kind of how our mind naturally works. And when we become aware of some of these tendencies, it's kind of like, okay, wait, is this really what I want to think or where I really want to go? Is that old programming, or do I want to choose to react or respond in a much more constructive, productive way?
So the fundamental thing that you need to remember is the feeling of gratitude. Your mind will probably think of things that you're not thankful for, or maybe you'll be like me, and you'll have trouble thinking of things that you're actually thankful for. And in that instance, you can just feel the feeling of gratitude because you felt it before. And you don't have to know what you're feeling grateful for, but being grateful brings the reasons into your reality. Just like looking for that particle made the 2 lines rather than it being in every possible location. So instead of letting your life happen to you, you take an active role in participating and experiencing your life at the same time and remaining at peace. That's the mental aspect. The physical aspect is sitting or laying comfortably, preferably even. And if you've ever gone to sleep, anybody in here? Y'all slept before, right? Mm-hmm. So, do you remember falling asleep? Some people, or you ever woke up real slow and you're breathing a certain kind of way when you're doing that, and it's real relaxed. When you're upset and uptight, you're not breathing that kind of way. Your breath is shorter, it's more intense. So, one of the tools that you'll learn is to be able to Focus on your breath when you're getting into a state where your body has less, your blood has less, your brain has less blood to work with, their emotions are intense. Do stupid stuff because you're not thinking, because you're breathing it hard. When you're sleeping, or when you're coming up from sleep, your breathing is very natural. You're not even breathing. You can try to hold your breath. You think you're in control of your breath, and you are to a certain extent, but there's this other side of it, and that's the connection to the things that you perceivably don't control. That's your body healing and living with you, for you. Governed by laws that you didn't make, you can't control. When you get cut, it's going to heal unless something is wrong. And you don't know what goes into that, but somehow the cells just know what to happen, and they're taking the oxygen from your breath. So when you breathe naturally, you're tapping into that natural harmony and tranquility. And the best way that I can think of to do it is to sit or lay comfortably and just kind of make believe like you're really laying down the books. You end up letting go all of this chest area. If you guys will, try it with me. Ideally, close your eyes. And just imagine that you're laying down and go to sleep. Your breath might speed up, it might be hard to let go. That's okay. What we're going to do is focus on our breath. Watch it. Observe it. Just let your breath be breathed. And with every breath in, and with every breath out, I want you to remember the feeling of gratitude. Let your breath be like the reminder that says gratitude. Breathe. The natural flow of the universe, of universal life force. So it's causing you to breathe right now. healing as you let yourself be free. Ideally, you would know when to do it and when to do that. But your hand doesn't know. Your ears don't know. It's the totality of things beyond your physical body. The order is helping right now. It's healing things